All right, folks, today we're going to talk a little bit about what is left to do on this truck, and trust me, the list is extensive, as well as the future of the channel. Let's go. Well, you may remember a couple months ago when I said I was hoping to have the truck done in a couple of months, and I finally got around to putting together a list, and oh my god, it is a doozy. I have no doubt that all of the space on this board will get used up by other things. It is shocking how much stuff is left to do on this truck. All right, folks, before we get into this list, I need to talk a little bit about the future of this channel, why I started it, and what my goals were with it, because I feel like it's kind of gotten a little bit off track. I know that most of you know me for this vehicle project. That's the majority of the reason that you guys subscribed, but for whatever reason, it is really failing to connect with a larger YouTube audience. It's really... The channel has grown a lot in subscribers in the last year due to me putting out all those YouTube shorts, but in terms of average views on videos I make, I mean, it is getting really bad. You know, after a couple of years of working on it, I've started to come to some hard truths that maybe whatever I'm making just is not working. People don't seem to want to watch it, other than the select hardcore group of you, and I do appreciate every one of you, but I've really had to start realizing that this channel is going nowhere. Now, I have to tell you guys, that is a really tough pill to swallow. I've put so much work into this, routinely up till midnight editing videos. I've been trying to put out more videos. I've tried different varieties of stuff, you know, introducing different vehicle builds, trying to get people interested in that, and for whatever reason, it's just not really working. I've decided though, or I've had to realize that at the end of the day, I do like doing this, and I think it's just time to maybe try and switch it up a little bit. I never intended for this to be a mechanical channel, really. Like, I wanted there to be some of that, but maybe 30% of the time, that kind of thing. The reality is, I am not a mechanic, I'm not a professional, I'm not experienced, as I'm sure you guys are all well aware, but I am pretty good at just jumping in and giving things a try. Going back a couple of years, it's been just over 2 years since I started this channel now, and I used to be a full-time golfer for a few years. A lot of you probably don't know that, but that was all I used to do, was just play golf, you know, 5, 6, 7 days a week. Winters in the States, you know, for months on end, just golfing every day. I was a hardcore golfer. That was all I cared about, and the only thing I focused on for quite a while, but it kind of came to a point where I was ready to switch it up a little bit. You know, when I was a kid, all I did was dream about jacked up trucks and riding quads and stuff like that. And I decided to take a step away from golf and start doing this kind of thing. And it's funny that saying that you were a full-time golfer sounds very lavish and luxurious, but the reality is this has been so much more expensive. It's hard to even put into words. This truck project, granted, could have been done probably better for cheaper. I mean, I just went at it with this viewpoint that I don't want any half steps. I never want to buy a part and then say, oh, that'll be good for now, and then I'll upgrade it later. I just wanted to go right to the final destination of all the stuff that I really wanted. And there's a long way to go on this truck, and also I should say, I mean, we're definitely going to still be doing videos working on it. We are going to get it done, all that kind of stuff, but I've just had to realize that when I started this channel, I wanted to actually build the Xterra first. I bought this truck when I was down in San Diego on vacation. I bought a welder and a plasma cutter. I bought some 1-ton axles, all that kind of stuff, and I was going to turn the Xterra into a rock crawler, and this would be kind of the tow pig, but for some reason I just started working on this and things just got completely out of hand. But the whole point of what I wanted to do was you know, go on adventures and film stuff and all that kind of thing, and somewhere along the lines I just got caught up with working on this project. You know, that's what I was filming because that's what I was doing, and it really just you know, got sidetracked of what I really wanted this channel to be about. Now, I've put out a bunch of videos trying to go a bit more in that direction of what I wanted, and very disappointingly, those videos have fallen flat on their face. And Speaking of which, pretty much everything I've put out lately has been falling flat on its face. I'm trying so hard to put stuff out and live that YouTuber lifestyle where you're constantly filming and making videos, but for whatever reason, I'm really failing to connect with a larger audience. People just are not into what it is that I'm making, and I have to tell you that's a tough pill to swallow, but after a couple years of pretty lackluster results, I mean, it's time for me to start looking towards the future and figuring out what my best play is. So it's been a real surprise to me. You know, I thought that this truck would have just absolutely gone bonkers on the internet. I mean, it's just such a beefy looking thing with the, you know, flat black sort of bedliner look and the big tires and the big horsepower and all that kind of stuff. But the sad reality is, other than a small handful of people, and I love you all very much, this thing has just completely failed to connect with a big audience that's gonna help to keep this channel afloat financially. Now, let me tell you, that is a very, very, very tough pill to swallow, because this was my dream truck, and I really overestimated how many people were going to think this was cool. And along those lines, I have to say, with the Dakota, I'm also like kind of heartbroken with how little interest people have in that. Like, even among the main subscribers, I loved those trucks so much since I was a teenager. The idea of getting one and putting rims on it and starting to do this cool handling thing was like a total dream come true. But for whatever reason, I mean, the vast majority of people just simply do not care. And that's okay. I mean, people like what they like, and that's fine. But I've just really had to accept the fact that maybe this channel is not really going to work out. If you ever watched Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, I love that guy. He says if it's not making money after 3 years, it's a hobby. We're just over 2 years on this channel. It is monetized now. There's some money coming in, but to call it profitable would be a complete overstatement. I mean, we're not even in the ballpark of getting enough money out of this as to what it costs. You know, the other day filming that video where I was popping the tires, I mean, there's a $400 or $500 GoPro trashed and gas and whatever else. I mean, the chances of me making $400 or $500 off that video is like zero. It got 50 views, and it'll probably just be gone into the endless ethos of YouTube videos that never get watched. So, you know what? I've realized moving forward that I just want to have fun with this. That's why I got into it in the first place. I wanted to, you know, have a spot where I can go on adventures, do things, and hopefully make a cool product that people want to watch. And I would say, looking forward, I'll probably give it until the 3-year mark where I'll be putting out stuff steady. And after that, the amount of time that goes into it, I just don't know that I can justify it. So anyways, we are going to try and have fun for the rest of the year. But let's go ahead now and look at this list and talk about some of the stuff that this truck needs. All right, now before we start getting into this list, I will tell you there's some items on here that probably took as much time to write down as they would to complete. And there's other items that will be probably multi-day projects, and maybe some that will never get fixed. I've had a bunch of you guys ask about where the transmission problem is at. I think I put out about 5 videos trying to figure that out. And as I've gone through this list, I've realized there's so many potential things that could be causing that problem. I also haven't checked the line pressure yet. That's something that I definitely need to do. But anyways, we're going to have a look at this and start talking about some of them. And let me tell you, it's a doozy. Okay, so first things first, third brake light is not working. It used to, not sure why. There might be a wire disconnected or something, who knows. Dome light as well is not working. That could be a bulb, or God only knows. The wait to start light, my grid heaters are working, but those are not. ABS warning light, ever since I've owned this truck, it's had that light on. So I've recently bought the I think it's the ABS speed sensor or something that goes in the back differential, so I'll try putting that on. But that could be just some random wiring problem. I have no idea. Any of these possibly could have something to do with the transmission issue that I'm having. Also, one of the codes, the high temp battery code, that might be some sort of issue. It is underhood wiring, and maybe there's something that should be connected and isn't. It just goes on and on. I've got a 5-inch pack brake, exhaust brake, that I've never put on, still new in the box. Speaking of box, the bed of this truck, or the box, needs to get cleaned and painted. There's a lot of painting that needs to happen. Dents repaired. My headlights suck even though they're new, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. all sorts of stuff. It just keeps going and going and going. And like I said, some of these are easy little projects and some of them will be multi-day things. So anyways, as you can see, this is a bunch of them here. I made this list a few weeks ago and shockingly have only got, I think, 2 things taken off the list, which is pretty wild. So this truck has been annoying me lately, and it is definitely time for me to jump back into it and get some stuff done. But anyways, you guys can sort of get a look at what's going on here. So long arm kit, that's one of those things. Who knows if and when that'll ever happen, but it might. This truck definitely needs a steering stabilizer. There's so many electrical issues that need to be resolved. I'm hoping that one of those has something to do with the tranny issue. Mud flaps and fender flares, I've been getting away with this sticking out for so long now. I mean, I really do need to put something on here. I've got a turbo tuner for it. That's something that actually might make a big difference for initial spool up, so I should get that back into the system. I've got an AFC Live, that's part of it. It'll be fun to do some testing with that. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, there is so much stuff. Like, it really is. Like, when you just see trans issue, I mean, that one, I've got days and days of my life into trying to figure that out. And will we ever get to the bottom of it? It's tough to say. So with that transmission problem, if I had to make a prediction, I would say there's probably about a 70% chance that it's something that is fixable or adjustable on my end, and probably about a 30% chance that maybe there's something wrong with the valve body. Possibly it needs to get sent back and looked at. I mean, that's no small thing though. I'm probably looking at least a few $100 in shipping for that. And then the other thing is it might be a bad PCM. I have heard that when your wait to start light stops working, that's a sign of a PCM dying. And there's also a few other issues. I've tried wiring in a lockup switch on this truck, and I've tried it I think in 2 or 3 different methods. And for whatever reason, it'll work once and then the truck will just stay in lockup and I have to turn it off and start it again. So that might be something that is also a sign of a bad PCM, I'm not sure. But the reality is this truck runs and drives. I can hop in and go. I wouldn't even bat an eye at driving down to California with it right now. It is, you know, I can select every gear. It might not be as God intended, but, you know, I can get to first or second or whatever at any time, and that's a big one. So, you know, there still is a long way to go, but I mean, the fact that I pulled this truck apart right down to a bare frame, went through the tranny, transmission, transfer case, differentials, everything like that. I mean, that was a huge project for a total amateur to get through. And the fact that I can just hop in, it starts, you know, it goes straight down the road, the brakes work, all that kind of stuff, that is a win. And any improvements that I make to this truck moving forward is a good thing. All right, folks, well, I try not to put out too many of these videos. I really wish that things were going better, but the sad reality is, unless I can somehow figure out some sort of video that people want to watch, this channel is going to have to start becoming less and less of a priority. I might start another one or maybe a couple of different ones about different topics, and hopefully we can get one of them to work, and then we can come back to this channel and just spend time having fun. But anyways, just want to say to all of you guys who've been following along, I really do appreciate the support. I'm sorry to come across whining and complaining, but if you knew how much work and how many hours, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of work go into this channel, I think you guys would maybe sympathize with how I feel. So anyways, hope you have a good one. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.